they were so out of the loop that they ended up signing the most unwanted band in Britain at that time, and we said we would do it if they took us out to Chestnut World of Adventures.
Welcome. We are Neil,
Luke and Dave.
340-somethings reminiscing on the runners and riders of 90s guitar music.
We look at the bands who soundtracked our youth on both sides of the pond and interview some of our heroes from the bands that defined a generation.
You'll hear about the good, the bad and the ugly of 90s guitar music.
This podcast is Stupid and Contagious. Right. Episode 47 of the Stupid and Contagious podcast. Got Jason from Bennett on today. He's a funny guy. Hilarious. It's a good one. Before we get into that, what's everyone been up to? Oh, I'll start. At a record month with the podcast. Yeah, so thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. It's
amazing.
The graph's going like this.
It's brilliant.
We're one of the top podcasts in the country now. So
we're not.
yeah.
What do you mean?
No, you've got to create this.
Are we like top 1,000?
I don't know.
No.
How it works.
I read something the other day. Most podcasts don't make it past the third episode.
That's very true. Yeah. No, we're very happy with the progress, and we really do appreciate people sharing it with their friends. It's really starting to grow. There's a really nice community growing around the podcast. People who have been on the podcast, listen to the podcast, which we love, other bands and stuff. That's great. You know, this is what we sort of envisaged or hoped would happen. So thanks very much. Keep sharing.
Thanks, everyone.
And then we'll keep doing it as long as it keeps growing. So, or if you are watching or listening this time, then please do get involved in the comments, rate, review, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that jazz. Because it really
jump on the Facebook page, post on the Facebook page.
Yeah, get involved. It's a really nice little group of people. So enjoy. It was Glastonbury this weekend. Coldplay last night.
Did you watch it?
I did. I wasn't overly impressed, to be fair. I don't know. I think they got too many songs now.
What does that mean?
I like that XY album. I loved it when they toured that, but now they don't play much off that, you know. So I don't mind the other stuff, but that was my favourite period of Coldplay. They were all right, you know. It's a good show. A lot of lights and fireworks, and they brought Michael J. Fox on, which is a bit weird, but everyone's raving about that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he sing?
It was all a bit cringe. He's in a wheelchair now, so they put him on a wheelchair with a guitar.
Did he do Johnny B. Good?
Play it?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. They were alluding to the Johnny B. Good thing that he did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I found it all a little bit.
Oh, I love Michael J. Fox. He's my hero.
He is good, isn't he?
I mean, Doc Hollywood's one of the best films ever made.
We went to the cinema for that, didn't we?
We did.
Very underrated, that.
Yeah,
it is.
Film.
Yeah.
Great film. But yeah, no, I agree. It's just a bit sad to see someone like that, I guess. But, you know, he looked like he was having fun, so.
He's in a better state than Joe Biden.
Oh, man. I watched that live. Jesus. I was at work. I had it on in the background when I was at work. It was horrible. It was funny.
Oh. Yeah, he keeps dozing off. Sleepy Joe, isn't it?
Looked about 100 years old. He wasn't sleepy. Yeah. He was just incoherent.
Do you think it's true he pooped his pants?
No. No, I don't. Do you think it's true?
I think there's a 10% chance he actually did poop his pants.
See, I reckon Trump's more likely to shit himself than Biden. I think Trump's more likely to poop his pants than Biden.
Anyway, yeah, so Glastonbury in general this year, I was a bit underwhelmed by it. Idols were quite good.
That's the only one I want to see. I've got no way to watch it, but that's the only one I'm interested in watching.
I only saw a few sort of highlights from it, but it looked pretty good. They had like a raft of migrants floating across the crowd.
Yeah, crowd surfing.
And he said a lot of controversial stuff about
but
hating the king.
Apparently that wasn't them.
No.
Someone said it's Banksy. Banksy launched it.
Apparently
It's
so.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And
That's
that
what
was
it's all
doing
about,
Danny
isn't it?
Nadelko, which I think is the best song ever written. I've said it.
Right. There
Danny
you go.
Nadelko. Yeah.
So yeah, they created a bit of a buzz for all the right reasons, I think. So
Yeah.
that was good.
Fuck the King.
Yeah, he
Love
did
that.
all that. But yeah, I think a lot of it was quite underwhelming. Fatboy Slim looked quite good. He played in one of the other sort of weird bits. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see all of it, but I remember it being a bit, you know.
That's not what it was, is it?
Hey,
I don't want to be that person. Yeah, I don't want to be
You
that
just did.
person. No, because I usually enjoy watching the Glastonbury on the telly, but it was it just, I don't know, they're just, a lot of the bands were quite underwhelming, I thought.
Fair
Then
enough.
who am I? Who am I?
You're a top podcast host.
That's right.
Who's doing the Sunday night?
SZA or whatever her name is, who I don't really know who they are. But
We're
no, I'm
recording
not.
this on a Sunday night, by the way, listeners.
Yeah, so is it SZA?
No idea how to pronounce
I
it.
don't know how you say it, pronounce it, or I don't really know who she is, but
Hey, give her a chance, man. Give her a go.
I just said I don't, you know, it's just, I don't know who she is, but Luke, what have you been up to?
Not a lot. I watched Mannequin last night. Have you seen that recently?
Not
Ah,
recently.
Starship.
Well, that's the
That's
thing.
the
So I was
main
doing the
song,
washing
innit?
up yesterday, and I had like YouTube on autoplay, and for some reason, Starship, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now came up on the autoplay, and the video to it is all of that film, right? It's Mannequin. So I was like, oh man, I really want to watch it. So I watched it last night. It was so shit, but in a good way.
Oh,
Yeah.
No. I loved it. I enjoyed it, but it was not objectively not a good film, right? It's so
No.
I don't remember how it's like for kids. It's like totally ridiculous and childish. But you know, I enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm gonna watch Mannequin 2 on the move tonight.
Oh, don't do that. That's going to be awful.
that's not going to be good, is it?
Well, no, got to be done. It's good, man. Kim Cattrall, the Colonel Harris out of Police Academy, in it as well. Oh man, it's great.
Oh, it's Kim Cattrall, the mannequin.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they were both in Police Academy.
They were.
There you go.
And apparently, it's very rare in the 80s. It's one of the few kind of Hollywood films where the lead actress was older than the leading man. She was like 30 and he was 24.
There's always that debate about weird science, how it's a bit cringe because there's this like woman, adult woman, and young boys.
Yeah, but it's quite realistic about young boys' fantasies, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's paedophilia though, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't see it that way, do you? When you're that boy.
No, exactly.
Yeah, but that's just because she's a woman and they're men, right?
Oh, in reality, they're not really.
It's
like
the other way round.
boys.
But if it's the other way round, it would.
Well, the other way
then
round.
It would be dodgy. If it were girls and it was a bloke, yeah. But they've also got the idea that they've created a woman that they own, right? Which is slightly problematic. But in Mannequin, it's not quite that thing. Because do you remember at the start of this film, I had no memory of this. She's actually like this, she's from like ancient Egypt and she's been forced to marry a dung farmer that she doesn't want to marry. So
What's a dung
I
farmer?
had no memory of this at all. This is the start of the film.
Hang on. What's a dung farmer?
You can't farm
A shit
dung.
farmer. Farm shit.
Well, he makes it and sells it. Maybe not a farmer.
Oh yeah, they used to use dung as bricks, didn't they?
Stop saying dung. Why is everyone saying weird stuff today?
I can't remember exactly, something like that. And so she prays to kind of, you know, she doesn't have to marry him, and then she kind of goes through. We don't see it, but in the opening credits, she kind of goes through history basically, and then she ends up as this mannequin in mid-80s New York.
I really want to watch it now. I'm going to watch it instead of the England match later.
Yeah, see how the first 10 minutes go. Right,
I'm not recommending it, but I enjoyed it.
Dave, what's been going on in Berwick Town?
How's Otto's loins?
Yeah.
Oh, they're healing up. He's got a big scab there now.
It looks like he's going on holiday. He's got one of those
a rubber ring around his neck.
Looks like he's going on a plane.
He can't nibble his scab. But it makes you think, how do they do in the wild? Because in the wild, they don't get big things put around their necks to stop them.
What they do about toothache and stuff like that. I often think about like poorer countries who don't have dentistry and stuff, do they just have toothache all the time?
It's called England.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
You pull it out yourself.
Yeah. I guess that's it, isn't it? You have to just pull them out.
That's literally what people are doing here.
The most A&E visits for children last year were because of their teeth.
Yeah.
It's not exactly cost effective, is it?
No.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Still, they'll be gone next week, so we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Well, as people listen, this will be the dawn, won't it?
Yes. I'm going to watch it. That's when I'm awake, right? And I'm working in my office most of the day, so I only have to teach late in the afternoon. So I'm going to be able to watch all of the results come in. Should be good.
What else, Dave? Apart from Otto's loin.
Well, actually, when you mentioned Idols saying "fuck the king" earlier, it made me think of an incident here I must have mentioned recently where there's like a car chase through the village.
No, you mentioned it to me. I remember. Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, a few weeks ago through Berwick, there was a car chase with a plain cop car, and the car smashed through the
barriers,
station
smashed through
barriers.
the barriers like Dukes of Hazzard style.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yeah, but I've since found out
Amazing.
that same day, the same time, landing in a helicopter in the next village called Lawton was Camilla.
Right.
Wow.
Queenie. So you think they're linked?
It could have been, I think it could have been a counter-terrorism operation.
Oh, right. And they were chasing
the
village.
The baddies were going to try and kill Camilla.
I like the think of it, Dukes of Hazzard stuff. Boss Hogg was chasing the... All right, so let's get on to the subject of this week's podcast. Jason Applin from Bennett. I don't think he'll... well, no, I think most people that were around in the 90s will remember Bennett because they were quite quirky, but they did have a period where they were everywhere, weren't they? Give us a little bit of a rundown.
Okay. Have you got a descriptor?
I'll just find it instantly on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep looking on Wikipedia. It's always bad.
That's what's funny.
That's the joke, Dave. That's the joke.
That's a joke.
Oh, right. Okay.
British alternative rock band.
I mean, that'll do.
I mean, it's not bad.
I would say indie rock.
I'd say quirky indie pop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I put them in the same category as like Symposium or Midget that we talk about in the interview, but I put them, Symposium, Midget, that kind of fun, poppy kind of Britpop, you know what I mean? Okay, so they're from, around the Reading area, formed in 1993. Spent a couple of years kind of, honing their craft, playing around around the local area, local gigs and stuff. Finally signed to, again, we go over it in interview, but they signed to Roadrunner Records in 1995, which is just mental.
Yeah, the story's good.
So for people that don't know, Roadrunner Records is basically a metal label. So Sepultura, Slipknot, Queensryche, your favourite, Neil, Korn, Biohazard, Silent Lucidity. Band called 3 Inches of Blood. They had this song called Deadly Sinners, which I was obsessed with for a while. So I just wanted to mention it so I can put it on the playlist.
That's a lot of blood, isn't it? 3 inches of
3
blood.
inches. Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah. Imagine what went on to produce that.
I know.
They're kind of like a power metal kind of band, but just that one song, Deadly Sinners, I love it.
Wow.
So yeah, they signed to Roadrunner, incredibly. At the time, they were kind of compared to Blur a lot when they came out, which I never really got that until I never thought about it like that until I read it, and I was like, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and if you watch some of the videos, they're kind of the similar sort of characters, I guess.
And according to AllMusic website, they were influenced by Terrorvision, but I don't think that's true in any way at all. But that's what it claims. It's what the algorithm claims, anyway.
I thought of terrorism when I was not terrorism.
Terrorism.
Terrorvision.
Is that racist?
When I was listening to
beard. Was that why? Because of the beard?
Yeah, that's what he thought. Jason, big beard, terrorist. Unbelievable.
Maybe it must be
So-
subconsciously.
Racial
Yeah.
profiling.
But you did think Terrorvision when you were listening, did you?
Yeah, when I was listening, I thought
Oh,
there you go.
So maybe there
make
is
the link. Yeah.
something in it then.
All right.
There you go.
That's fair. Released a load of singles, like 3 or 4 singles. Started getting played on John Peele, who was a big fan. Again, we talk about it a lot in the interview. I remember, I think it's their third single, Someone Always Gets There First, which I bought at the time. After hearing it on the evening session, got to number 69 in the charts. Just wanted to mention it because it's rude. And they also appeared on a one of those Fierce Panda compilation 7-inch, a double 7-inch, I think, called Songs About Plucking. See what they did there? That's the big black album, Songs About Fucking, Songs About Plucking.
That's rude too.
It is rude. But that compilation 7-inch also had Biss and my favourites, Magoo, Number One Cup, who get a mention. Yeah, Chopper.
Which were your favourites?
Yeah,
I don't mean like
come
favourite. I mean, okay, a band
Just
that
'cause
I really like.
Just because
Magoo.
they haven't become friends with you, can't start just pretending that you don't like them now.
Not yet.
It's a bit-
Not yet.
You'd think they'd have got in contact by now.
It's all right. They're shy. I get that. First album, Supernatural, 2 words. Dropped in 1996. Big hit single from it, of course, Mum's Gone to Iceland. Reached number 34 in the charts. And like you say, it was just everywhere. And it's a great tune, right?
Yeah. It's just very of that era as well, isn't it?
Dave, do you remember it when it came out?
Yeah, I mean, I had forgotten it, but I do remember it. Yeah, and he says, doesn't he? It's a bit like that Elastica connection is made. He does that pause in it.
Yeah.
I like songs that do that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I like
what he
that.
said. Yeah. That
Girl from Mars does it really well as well, doesn't it, Ash?
Yeah.
Are there any more?
Oh yeah, there must be.
That Chop Suey song by whatever they're called. It goes
Hong Kong Phooey.
System of a Down.
System of a Down. Yeah.
They do that. But I don't think that's the same thing. That this whole song stops, so that's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good when they do that. They had a second album called Street versus Science in 1998. But yeah, it didn't do so well. I think in the interview he calls the album pompous.
Yeah, I don't think they were a massive fan of it either.
And yeah, they basically split in 1998, and that was pretty much it until 2016. They had like a very, very brief reunion. I think it was just a one-off gig maybe, but in the last couple of years they're back and they've been touring and doing the odd gig, and they've announced a joint tour with Midget for later in the year, and they're playing Shine On in whenever it is, November.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
And that's it. That's been it.
He mentions other projects. Don't worry, I won't reveal it, but of course he's in this other band that no one's going to
we'll get
believe.
that afterwards.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it
is amazing.
Oh, go on, tee it up, Dave. Give a tee. Tease them.
Well, I just did,
give them a
didn't
bit
I?
of a. We'll give them a bit more of a teaser.
Their minds are going to be blown when they find out.
They are. We were we didn't believe him at
it.
first. We thought it was having a laugh anyway. But yeah, we'll have a listen to the interview and then we'll get on to that because it's bloody brilliant. Here's Jason Applin from Bennett. Enjoy. Jason, thanks so much for coming on. How is everything? We're up to
good.
these days.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, bit of a strange mini resurgence in our dotage.
Yeah,
it's good, right?
Yeah, it's good fun. I mean, what's really nice about it is anything we do now, which is very, very few and far between. But the stuff we do, it's so nice to do it and just think to yourself, "Oh, this is not my job. I don't have to worry."
Yeah,
I just got to enjoy myself, and once I just remind myself of that, and we remember that, it's good. It's really, really good. It's nice to not. I'm not sure we enjoyed it that much at the time back in like when we were young. So we just sort of do it now and have a little bit of fun. I'm amazed at people coming to see shows and stuff. It's very nice though.
Yeah. That's great. You've just announced that thing with Midget. Is that like a tour, or is it just a couple of gigs? Or
it's going to be at the moment it's 3 shows that we were offered. So it's I'm not 100% sure. There might be 1 or 2 more, but we're not keen to do more than 3. But I think we're doing
fair enough.
Brighton. We're going to tap into Stamford because that's where the chaps are from, and then I think we're going to do, this sounds strange, we're doing Aldershot, and that's because at the Aldershot West End Centre, which is the arts centre there, it's very much where we members of Bennett kind of cut our teeth as I think a place called the Buzz Club, which was sort of very, very kind of cool, infamous club down there, and so we thought we'd go and play there as well.
I used to live just down the road in Aldershot from that venue. I went
from the West End Centre.
Saw Speedy there. Yeah. Saw Speedy there.
Well, back in the 80s and into the 90s, Joe and Danny, who then went on to be Joe and Danny, who were a kind of fairly successful alt folk duo, and they also started the Greenmount Festival. Joe Bartlett.
that's a great festival, that one.
Yeah. So they used to run a thing called the Buzz Club there. When we were also in local bands and stuff, we used to play there. And then when we first started Bennett, we played the first couple of shows there and stuff. So, I think we know we're definitely going to do that one. And it's looking likely that we'll do something in Stamford and then something in Brighton too. Yeah,
whereabouts in Brighton are you playing?
No, yet. I mean, it's out of my hands. I don't know. I mean, we don't have. It's not like we have a manager or anything like that these days. But we have a couple of the members of the band. Andy, our bass player, lives in Brighton, and Kev, our drummer, lives in Littlehampton. So they live down that way. So they'll organise. Yeah, they'll be talking to a couple of promoters down there, and then I sort stuff out in Southeast, and then Midget chaps are going to do. I think Stamford is. I don't know if Stamford is Midlands. Anything above sort of Watford is north. So I'm
the same. Yeah, we're the same.
So I think it's somewhere up north, but I don't really know where it is. I actually genuinely,
somewhere out there.
I spoke to Richard. I messaged Richard about it from Midget, and I said, we should do my exact message was we should do a show, in your neck of the woods, and then I actually put ... wherever the fuck that is, because I have no idea where they were from or anything. I just thought they were northern, but yeah, apparently it's Stamford, so that's where we'll be playing.
Are you still sort of Reading based, are you?
Yeah, I would. So we don't have. Back in the 90s, we had a guitarist called Johnny who is not in the band anymore. But me and the guy who now is our guitarist, and Neil, who played keyboards for us on and off in the 90s. I mean, no one else played them, but he kind of used to come on tour occasionally. And we all live in the sort of Reading area. Reading still, yeah. I did live in Devon for quite a while, and then somehow,
nice.
Yeah, and then somehow some mistake happened, and I ended up back in Reading by accident, and here I am. It's a I don't know. I used to absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it as a town, and it is a bit. It's not sort of like you don't sort of. It's not the sort of a romantic kind of place, the spires of Reading or anything. But like it's
there's some nice bits down by the river, though, right? I used to live. I grew up in Caversham Park. You see.
Well, yeah, okay. So Caversham Park. Caversham's nice. Caversham Park.
Yeah.
Wow. Not so nice. Caversham Park is basically, isn't it? Just basically Stevenage, but in Caversham.
Yes.
But it's
Caversham Park Village, where I lived. It's a bit rough now.
It's not. It's horrible. But it's all right. Yeah. I mean, Reading's all right. It's got lots of. I'm trying to think. It's got lots of it's lots of people. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't really go out or I don't.
I mean, they've got that. They've got that small festival they have there each year, haven't they? So
Yeah,
you
you
know,
listening
they've got
festival. That's really good. We played there this year, so it was extra good this year.
Yeah.
But and I've done it in the past about 8 years ago with somebody else, and yeah, that's really good. That's pretty good. And it's all right. It's got this, you know, it's sort of got a bit of your music scene going on. So, but as I say, I mean, I don't. It's got nothing. That's got nothing to do with me. Yeah, it's just anymore. It's just like young people.
Yeah.
You know, I have absolutely no fucking interest at all in anything. You know, basically, I don't like young people. I don't like young people's music.
No.
I don't like going out. I just like, you know, my life is very.
Thanks so much for coming on.
No, you're in the right place, man. You're in the right place.
Exactly.
Grumpy old bastards as well, man.
Exactly. My life is pretty. Remember, I'm a dad, so I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids and I've got 3 kids. Got twins and a stepdaughter. That's enough young people to be. They drive me insane, you know, and I love them all. But like, and I just get pleasure out of being an embarrassing dad these days. You know, me and my partner like to find out what the slang is and then say it to them to see them cringe and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I've never been very good at sort of going out and socializing and stuff. I was really surprised actually. We played a gig when we played Are You Listening the other week, so it's perfect for me because we were on at 6:30, which meant I got to get home in front of the telly for Eurovision. And, so we got there. We got there at 6. We got there at 6 o'clock. Set up, played at 6:30. I was literally out of the venue by 7:10. It was beautiful, and that's a night out for me. And then I got home and just had some tea and watched Eurovision, which I thought was very good this year.
Nice.
But yeah, that's so. I don't really know what Reading's like. I'm probably like any other big town Friday and Saturday night.
It's all right,
I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think you've also been announced for Shine On as well this year. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah. No. No. We have been. No, I hate everything.
No, I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. Bands, festivals. No. I think it'll be quite good fun. I hope so. It's quite funny because we are. Yeah, well, I'm not, and rightly so because we were only ever a small band, but like we're in that kind of little kind of but although I did notice that Lawrence and Felt's new stuff is in that little tiny list of people as well, which I thought was one quite a company to be in. I am looking forward to it. Well, I think we're playing on. I think we've got a nice kind of like post hangover session on a Sunday afternoon in one of the rooms there, in one of the halls. But
that was really busy last year, though.
I've never been. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure it's going to be good fun. There's I don't think. Well, I mean, you can probably guess already. I'm not going to go for the whole weekend, but I am going to gird my loins and try and go for the day.
You're going to talk to anyone, or just sort of
probably other members of the band? You have to, otherwise it makes it really difficult to kind of like count the song in and that sort of stuff. But like. I doubt. I do. Well, I know actually. So I know a couple of famous people. Amazing. And one of them's is Steve from Embrace. And so really? I did say to him, "Oh, we're off the same day." It was a bit kind of like on the same day. Look, you're headlining on the main stage, and I'm on at kind of like like 11:30 Breakfast Club kind of thing. Anyway, but I'd like to stick around and see them.
Yeah.
Because I work on another project, and he's done some guesting on that, and I have never actually thanked him in person because I met him through somebody, so we've got to know each other online. But I said it'd be nice to meet up properly and thank him for that.
I mean, apart from the music, it's a really nice. I went there last year. It's a really nice little get together for bands from that era. You can meet up with old friends and
I mean,
I think you'll have a really good time.
I don't know who we're bumping into. I mean, I remember, we were always chronically underdogs. I remember playing at So you may get some of the other bands thinking like, who are they? I remember year back. This is back when we were meant to be, this is back when we were doing like Peele session stuff. So we were kind of actually meant to be known at this point. And we played this festival at the Paradiso in Amsterdam, and we had a dressing room with our name in it. Weirdly, we shared a dressing room with Super Animals. I don't know why, but anyway, and they were really nice chats. But anyway, our name was up on the wall, and I heard two other bands. I think one was I can't remember who they were, but two other bands I heard walk past the room and both said, "Who the fuck are Bennett?" And I was just so crestfallen because we were at like the same thing, Who was it? I'm trying to, if I remember, I'll tell you who it was. Some sort of.
Well, we need to know. Yeah.
It was. I think I'll think of it and I'll let you know. But that was, and then 60 Foot Dolls did come up to us, and I thought, oh, this is, we met them, I think, once or twice before, and I thought, this is great. We made an impression on them, and all they wanted was our drinks tokens. And as soon as we gave them that, they just pissed off. So they weren't interested in talking to us at all. So we kind of spent a lot of time on our own. Back then.
Well, let's go right back then. Can you talk a little bit about how the band came together and stuff?
Yeah. We think about this. So this was kind of like, what was this, back in 1962 or something? And I've been in a sort of kind of local indie band and done all right, and then that came to a close, and Johnny, who was Bennett's guitarist originally, this was our roadie, and so when we split up, he said, "Oh, look, I've got some songs," and played them to me, and they were awful, but like I had absolutely nothing else to do, so we sort of just worked on those, and then we ditched those and started writing sort of slightly better songs, and that's when I knew Andy, a bass player, for a friend, and I knew he'd been in other bands, and he wasn't doing a band at the time, and so I managed to kind of talk him into. I lived in a place called Norberton at the time, which is just outside Putney, and he lived in Putney, and so it was quite good. We used to get on a train down to for some reason we used to rehearse at this studio in Hampshire, anyway, but I can't remember why. But and then we had a drummer from the original drummer from my band that I was in, and then he just stopped turning up to rehearsals, and somebody suggested Lodge, as he was known then, which is Kev, the drummer, and I asked him, because our drummer originally did backing vocals, and I remember saying to Kev, "Well, look, can you sing?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "All right, okay, great." So he came in. I set up a microphone for him. Oh my god! I mean, he can't sing. It was just awful. Like, really
blacked his way in.
Like, just terrible. And I just thought, well, at least he kind of had the guts to kind of give
it a go, right?
Right up to the moment he was about to sing, he must be thinking, well, you never know, it might, this might be the moment I can sing, and he couldn't.
I might get away with this.
So yeah, but he didn't. And then we just kind of like, it's a very kind of common story of just like, we wanted to give it a go and try and get a deal. Well, I think we always wanted to aim fairly small, and that isn't because we were kind of particularly arty or worthy. I think we just kind of were sort of quite realistic, and so we started. I lived with a guy called a friend of mine called Lindsay, and he was in a band at the time who then went on to sign to Fire Records called Supermodel, and they had a song.
Oh, I like a bit of Supermodel.
Yeah, Penis Size and Cars.
Got their album behind me, on the shelf.
Sorry, so I was living with him at the time, and it was a very exciting time because we would come home and we'd have voice messages from record companies for either him or me, and it was just because basically everybody in that point in the 90s, every record company didn't want to lose it out and thought they must sign a kind of a sort
guitar
of guitar band, Brit popish guitar band, or indie guitar band. We were all ready to sign with a major label. Actually, we were ready to sign with East West, and we had we did a showcase for them. We had meetings. It was all go. I won't mention any names, but we then got a tip off from the main chap who had been talking to us from his PA that he was basically going through a sort of cocaine psychosis and had been saying the same thing to 4 or 5 other bands and hadn't actually got intention to sign any of us. Anyway, all the time E47 was going to sign us, it sort of happened. It was the way it worked. Every time, all the time they were going to sign us, we had loads of other record companies interested, sort of thing, and it was really good. And I used to pull all these tricks, like, so we would do a gig and I would give the guy at the door like a tenner and say, can you be like really unprofessional with the guest list? So if somebody comes up from, say, I don't know, from whatever company, can you just sort of like show him the guest list with other companies and say, so which one are you? And the whole idea was we wanted to try and kind of cause a thing. It worked.
Playing off against each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it really worked. And it was going very, very well. And then East West, it went, no, not interested. And it just spread like wildfire. And obviously you could hear just phones hanging up all around the sort of country. And so we're kind of went into panic mode. Luckily, Roadrunner Records, they were just so out of the loop.
I was going to ask, how did that come about? I couldn't believe it when I was researching. You're on Roadrunner. They're like
yeah. So they were so out. They were so out of the loop as far as anything that was even slightly seen as cool or whatever, because they were doing metal, which I now realise they were like, wish we'd been a metal band because they were so good at doing metal. Anyway, so they were trying to branch out, and so they hadn't basically heard that that East West wasn't interested anymore. And if I'm honest, we up to that point were only using Roadrunner to kind of make up the numbers on these lists and stuff that I was telling you about. All of a sudden, they were our only option, right? So we had to spin this whole lot of bullshit about how we really believe in what they're doing and we'd much rather be kind of like a main focus and like and God bless them, they fell for it, and so they ended up signing the most unwanted band in Britain at that time, and we said we would do it if they took us out to Chestnut World Adventures to sign the which to be fair, they did. So so that's how we ended up forming and going and ending up signing to the same label as Sepultura.
Yeah, brilliant.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Well, they also had a band called Fear Factory. And I'm pretty sure, unless I was just making it up, I saw a really old interview recently, and I'm pretty sure this is factual. We were called Cooper, and then another band was called. I mean, it's true. And this other band was called Cooper, and they threatened to take out an injunction. So we had to change our name. It was literally like days before we were going to play, or about a week before we were going to play Reading Festival for the first time. So we had to come up with a new name, and I'm pretty sure the guy from Fear Factory came up with some examples. Some ideas, and they were really like. I think he called it. I think one of the ones he came up with was what you should call yourself Strange Enigma. Which
mysterious.
I know. We never did. It's such a shame because we could have been Strange Enigma.
How mysterious.
Yeah. But we went with Bennett because it was just I think we were trying to think of what can we call ourselves, and then we thought of Van Halen. In fact, they're named after members of the band, and so we went through our surnames, and then Andy Bennett's name just seemed to fit, and we dropped one of the T's. I think that in French is Bennett, which I think is some sort of slang for imbecile, which is actually even better than we had planned.
There you go.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you into when you were a teenager?
When I was a teenager, so I'd like to say, I'd like to sort of like just lie and say things like, I used to listen to Scott Walker and.
Nah, just be honest. We're all good.
Yeah,
we're all friends here. It's fine.
But the truth is, as a young teenager, I was really into rock, like really, really into. I mean, I was really into Kiss, like 70s makeup Kiss, and I was unashamedly into Kiss all the way through Bennett. I think on the cover of our first album, you can see my amp, and it's got Paul written on it in like gaffer tape, and that's after Paul Stanley from Kiss. And it's also got a little symbol of somebody carrying a case that says Heavy, and I'd written Kiss on that as well. So I'd obviously still carried it on up to that point. I still listen to them occasionally, but they are shit. But yeah, I liked them, and I liked a lot of kind of rock stuff and metal stuff and things. And then I just switched and I went, I think, kind of like when the Smiths came along, really. I still liked sort of rock stuff. I mean, I used to like quite a lot of in my early teens. I used to like a lot of stuff I've returned to now, weirdly, like kind of folky prog stuff, like Jethro Tull and stuff. Fucking love a bit of all that kind of stuff, especially the kind of early 70s stuff. But then the Smiths came along, and I just thought they were amazing, absolutely amazing. And I remember they were playing at Guildford Civic Hall on the Meat Is Murder tour, and none of my mates were into them. And so I went along with a tenner. I mean, the tickets were like £7, and I went along with a tenner, naively thinking that I could get one off a tout for a £3 profit. I was like an idiot. I was really young. And I turned up, and this tout said, "You want a ticket?" I was like, "Yeah," and he said, "I was like, £30." I was like, "Oh, I haven't got a tenner." He's all, piss off then. And then I kind of started walking back, this lonely young Smiths fan, like in my Nashville glasses, all kind of dejected, go to the phone box and ring my dad to pick me up. And this bloke came across car park the other way, and he said, "Oh, do you want a ticket for tonight's show?" I said, "Sorry, mate, I haven't got enough money." He goes, "Oh, no, I guess you just got a spare ticket, for £7." So I remember buying that. I remember saying to him, "Oh, this is so embarrassing. You've made my lifetime," I said. And he's like, he's like, "All right." And he scarpered, and it was great. So back then, I don't want to sound like kind of like you could go out or with a farthing and have a fish supper and get the bus home, but like I got in, and then with the extra £3, I bought a poster. It was great, and I just watched the whole thing on my own. Just went down the front. Oh, fantastic, really fantastic. So yeah, and then I was just like really, really into kind of indie music, I guess. I'm like all that sort of stuff. I really like bands. Like I liked a lot of kind of. I've always liked quite bands that are a little bit. I don't like things like Oasis. I nothing more. I can see quite clearly why people like them. I totally understand that, but I things have to be a bit more kind of awkward sounding for me. So if I had to go in the Blur Oasis camp, it would be Blur. And I used to like bands like Stump and anything that was kind of angular and was a bit sort of off. Having said that, I also really, really, really love Bandwagonist by Teenage Fan Club. I've been listening to that again recently, and that's
great album.
Pure pop. That's lovely. That is.
Yeah.
So that was it's fun. Oh, but as a kid, I hear you ask. I went.
Yes.
I went to my first few gigs. My first 3 gigs. Gladys Knight of the Pips.
Wow.
Boney M, and then Shwaddy Wuddy.
Nice.
But this wasn't some sort of reformed Butlins Shwaddy Wuddy. This was the real Shwaddy Wuddy.
Real deal.
Back in the 70s. Oh man, it was. I just don't remember much about it. I remember thinking it was good. Gladys Knight of the Pips was great. And so at one point she said, "I want everybody to hold hands with the person next to you." And of course, everybody in England's a bit like, "Oh God,"
Yeah.
And so I was really tiny. And I turned to this woman next to me, held my hand up, and she just went, "No." And so she held my hand. And so so that's my early music tastes.
That's great.
Right.
I apologize. I apologize. I do ramble quite a lot. I do.
No.
We love it.
That's what we like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
We talk quite a lot on the podcast about how many great venues, like small venues, there were in the 90s. So when you first started playing outside of Reading and stuff, did you play that circuit, the toilet circuit? I don't really like that word, but did you play that?
Toilet
circuit, yeah.
I don't like that phrase. But yeah.
So my favourites on the toilet circuit would have been the Forum, I think, in Leamington Spa. I think it was called the Forum. And it used to be And this is unusual because I think that did actually used to be an underground toilet at one point. But I'm not. I might have just somebody might have just told me that as a lie, and I was very gullible. But I remember that I really liked that venue, and I can't remember why. It was just like in a really old building, and it had this kind of real good atmosphere. That was really, really nice. Bath Moles Club, of course, which is a real shame that's gone.
Yeah, Moles Club's great venue.
I got really fond memories of Bath Moles Club because we had a proper marker, if you see what I mean, to kind of like see how far we'd come with Bath Moles Club. So we played Bath Moles very early on, and I think we supported Long Pigs, and it wasn't very busy. I mean, it probably was by the time they came on, but it was really quiet, and no one knew where we were, and it was a bit like, you know, a bit of a slog. And then about 2 years later, when we started, you know, we'd done Peele, and probably had our one hit and that sort of stuff by that stage. But we played there again, and it sold out, and it was amazing. It was like it was chaos because there was no. The stage was so low that people were just continually falling onto the stage and like knocking over the microphones, and our poor Dave, who was our tech guy, he had to spend the whole evening kind of running on and mopping up beer and pulling people off stage, and it was just it's all for him, but really good fun. I loved that venue. And then the other one sprung to mind. I suppose we played a place called Louisiana in Bristol.
Oh, I used to go there a lot.
Yeah, and I love that upstairs room. It's got a real nice atmosphere up there. And again, we played there, and we got booked into that, right? And we were sort of struggling indie band, and they booked us in there, and they gave us real kind of like small nominal fee. I mean, it's only a very small venue, so it doesn't take much to sell it out. But we then had a bit of success, and by the time we went to play, it sold out. And I always remember our tour manager saying, "Oh, look, you know, we did sell out in the end. There was any chance of getting a bit more money?" But I was like, "No, that's just shrewd promoting by me," which it was, of course. You know, but, yeah. So I've got no fond memories of. I haven't got really any fond memories of any London venues like we did all the like the Monarch and
the Bull and Gate and all of that.
Yeah, Rats and the Monarch and stuff. But I can't really remember much about them. We just do those things quite a lot, but they all became much for muchness, to be honest.
Louisiana's great. Yeah.
Yes.
And who were you playing with? What other bands were you supporting, or they supporting you?
Yeah, well, we did. I think our first proper tour was with Mega City 4, and we weren't that sort of like suited musically. Mega City 4, they were really, really, really lovely blokes. And
we had Jerry on. He was a nice guy.
Yeah. So I'm still friends with some of them now, and this is like, you know, whatever 30 odd years later, and they were really they're really nice. Shame, you know, so sad about Wiz and stuff, but we did that, and about friends band called Chuck. They were on Fire at the time, and they toured us as well on that tour. That was really good. We've done some. We did tour with Number One Cup band from Chicago, who had a big. Then their song was Dive Bomb. I think it was the radio song that was on a lot. They were great. They were really, really good. Still friends with them. That was really, really nice. Who else? We toured with. I think we toured with Echo Belly and Rialto. And we did. And then we did a tour with Midget and the Sweeney supporting us, because the Sweeney had that song called Why, which was a John Peel. If you haven't heard it, you should check out the song called Why by the Sweeney. And John Peel had it as like in his festive 50, like in the top 10. It is the perfect song. I mean, it is the perfect song. It's absolutely amazing, and I loved it so much. So we asked them if they would come out on the road with us, and they did. And that was probably my favourite ever time. It was us and Midget and Sweeney. That tour was great. We did tour with My Life Story.
They just released a new album last week, I think. My Life Story.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about My Life Story at all.
Oh, Cole, come on, give us the gossip. What's
come on, this is what we want. This is what we want. No,
it's good. It's all good. No.
I didn't really get on well with him.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So you need to say.
No, there was a little, yeah. Oh man, I can tell you some stuff, but not on this.
That's all right. All right, it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. You've mentioned John Peele a couple of times. He's like my all-time hero, pretty much. I mean, you've played 3 Peele sessions according to my John Peele session book.
Yeah, we did two actual sessions. So what happened was, we were booked in to play a session with Mark Radcliffe up in Manchester, and he was on holidays. Peele was looking after his show. So the first time we met Peele was we went up to Manchester to do this, and those ones were live. So you go in the basement and you play live. And because I talk a lot, I was sort of talking back to him. So he was asking us questions. I was asking him questions stuff, and he liked that, and we got on well. Then he liked us. He liked what we did. He said some very, very nice things on air about us during the set. And then he came down after to chat to us for a bit of things. And that was it. It just became a kind of a bit of a, kind of like a champion of ours, really.
Yeah.
And then he started playing tracks from our album. I know we did, and then I do remember things. I remember for Reading Festival, he'd been playing some stuff from our album. And I was at Reading Festival. I was backstage, and I saw him sitting down having a drink. And so I went over and bothered him. I just said, "Look, I just wanted to thank you for. I don't know if you remember me." I said, "We met briefly on Jason Bennett." He said, "Yes." He goes, "I do remember you." Because I read a thing in the Melody Maker, really bad review of you live. It was really scathing. Because I thought it was really kind of unfair. So I went, "Oh yeah, look," and I opened up my jacket, and I've had that review put on a T-shirt to wear at Reading Festival. He goes, "Oh right, that's really good." Because that's the best way to deal with it. And we then went off and played. I said, "Can you come and see us today?" And he said, "I don't think I can." He said, "Because that's when my show starts." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, we're all at the Dr. Martin stage, and we're all anyway." Off we went. We did the gig, and then my brother rang me in the afternoon. Said, "Oh, listen to the radio," and John Peele said, "I'm soaking wet, just coming back from the pouring rain from watching the beginning of the set from Mighty Bennett," and then he played us. So I was just, I couldn't believe it, because he had been somebody I grew up with, just thinking was just amazing and this sort of oracle. Yes, and then we did. Then we ended up doing 2 sessions for him over the next couple of years. I met him a couple more times. And had it not been for that, I don't think we'd be doing this. We wouldn't be talking to you now. We wouldn't be still be doing those show stuff, because he was a champion when others weren't. And he was like, the coolest bloke around, wasn't he? So like, as long as you have Peele in your corner, you must be doing something right. And I do remember there was an interview with him in the NME, possibly. It was like this 2-page interview, and it said, he said, "You seem to have turned your back on a lot of British guitar bands recently." And he said, "There isn't a lot of British guitar." Now, remember this distinctly, because I was so over amazed. There is a lot of British guitar bands I like at the moment. And he mentioned one too. He said, "And Bennett, of course." He said, "They seem to be annoying everybody, so they must be doing something right." And I remember thinking that was really, really good endorsement.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's all you need, didn't it?
Yeah. So that was because we never really got a lot of love off, because the other person you had to get love off, of course, was Lamac.
Well, I think I heard you first on the evening session. I'm pretty sure I heard maybe what's it? Someone always gets there first. I know. Went out and bought it. I think I heard that on the evening session.
So that was made single of the week on the evening session when Steve and Matt was on holiday, and Joe made it single of the week. And then I was interviewed by there was a brilliant fanzine back in the day called All About D. So and she basically helped break Biss, for example, this sort of stuff. It was a fanzine, so kind of important.
Big Biss fan.
And she's brilliant. Steve's a really lovely woman. Very, very has helped so many bands about them. I never really got the credit for it, but anyway. So I was being interviewed by her, and I said, I see that we got the evening session. I bet when he got back, he puked up when he was told that. So he wasn't very keen. He wasn't very keen on us. He took real offence to this, like massive offence to this. And our record company went into panic mode. Honestly, it's like, "You're going to have to come up to London and stay with the A&R girl and go to every gig until we bump into him, and then you can apologise. I said, I'm not going to apologise. Like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong, you know.
Yeah.
Also, he would just think, like, well, I thought you were a bit of a dick. Now I know you're a dick because you're coming up to apologise. So in the end, I think our radio plugger sent him a bottle of champagne and pretended it was from me. So I had to get a word to him like, that wasn't from me, you know.
Yeah.
And he did look at it and think, well, what a dickhead. I'm not playing there anymore. And there's a great shot. Somebody took a video of us at Tea in the Park. And it's from us. We're about to walk on stage, and he's introducing the bands. And he goes, "Wish you welcome to mighty Bennett." And as he turned around, he looks at me like absolute death, and I look at him like death. And it was like, and it was this kind of, in my mind, it was this big feud, you know. Anyway, I know people who know him now. He has absolutely no recollection of this before at all. Because of him, we had a problem. I thought, all right, you know. And I thought he absolutely hated me. And he you know, God bless Steve Lamacq, because you know, we get played on the radio still, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, thanks to Steve Lamacq. He tends to play us on his Six Music show, or did. So
you know that Steve Lamacq is a firm fixture at Shine On. He's there quite a lot. So,
I know. Well, maybe I'll go up there and say, look, I just want to clear this up.
Yeah.
I tried to do that once before. So I did this is quite a good story, actually. I met so at Tea in the Park. I met okay, well, look, I was a little bit worse for wear. You know, I was a young man in a band, so I was
no, don't need to excuse it.
Really, really not with it. And I had to go do a radio interview with, I think it was like XFM or something like that. They had like a hut there. So I went, outside broadcasting. So I went, my tour manager came to get me, took me to this thing, and I was just like all over the shop. And I sat down, I did this interview, and we talked a load of shit. They played some songs, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he then said, and then I saw some people come in. He goes, right, this is all on air. This is so embarrassing. It's awfully bad, right? He goes, right, perhaps you'd now like to introduce our next guest, right? And I looked over, and it was Charlene from Texas. Is that her name?
Yeah, Charlene Spiteri.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so Charlene from Texas. But I just couldn't remember what her name was, right? I just went completely blank, right? And then I panicked, and I thought, well, I can't say it's the girl from Texas, right? Because that would like be even more insulting. But in my mind, I should have said that, because that probably would have been, that could be fun, la la la. Or I could have said, oh, it's Texas. But instead, there was this horrible pause, and then I leaned into the microphone really close. Yeah, they got ASMR it is now. So I went, I'm very sorry, I don't know who you are. and she looks like furious, and her roadie bouncer guy looked furious, because obviously I knew who she was, but I mean, what I meant was I couldn't remember your name. Anyway, they then dragged me out in shame from that, and then the guys afterwards going to me saying, "Oh, that was so funny, it was really good work." And I was like, "No, I wasn't trying to be funny or belittle her. That's really rude of me. I'm be rude." Anyway, so about, I don't know, 7 months later, so a long time ago. Don't forget, she probably got no recollection of this. Just some slightly chubby twat in glasses has just forgotten her name, you know, on a festival. She's a big fucking star. I mean, who just got a shit give a shit, you know? 6 months later, we're playing the Radio 1 road show, right? And she's there. She's one of the other artists playing. We're doing like a week residency, and then she's one of the artists on one of the days. And I think, well, this is my my moment to go and apologise. Right. So you've got to picture it. It was very, 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 very hot and sunny.
It seems to be a recurring theme, this sort of apologising to her.
Right. It's very, very hot and sunny. And I've got a really bad limp, because on the first day of the festival, I had tried to do of the roadshow, I had tried to do a knee slide across the stage. Right. It was made of rubber, so I basically got dead and cut all my knees up. So I was
that's got a chafe.
I had an oversized sombrero on because it was so sunny. That's the only thing we could find. Right.
Sure.
So I sort of wandered over to her like that. And I went, I said, I don't know if you remember me, but and then trying to explain the whole thing. And she just looks so horrified. You know, she said she didn't say anything. I think I pulled the line again. So then I was in a position where I was
Backed away
thinking,
slowly.
if I ever see her again, should I then apologise for that? But then I just thought, no, it's cut my losses.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've always been pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty smooth, especially with the women. Pretty smooth.
It's the sombrero, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but Bennett had this kind of whole image of being absolute fucking nerds who were no good with women, and it wasn't. As it transpired,
Not true. Not true.
Totally honest. That's what we were. We were absolute nerds who couldn't talk to girls.
Yeah.
Amazingly, all of us ended up, with girls and families. Well, I don't know about Johnny. I don't know what he's doing, but but others did. Yeah.
Made it.
Yeah, real girls, not like
real ones. Yeah.
Actual
All right,
actual girls.
We've got to talk about Mum's Gone to Iceland. I mean, how did it happen? How did it break into the mainstream?
Isn't that a fucking horrible song?
What? Seriously, you don't like it?
No, I do. I did.
Oh, come on.
I went for a period of not liking it.
Really?
Yeah.
We did it when we did the tour Record Belly. We were such tits, and we did the second album. We were really taking ourselves seriously.
Oh, you didn't do that thing where you refused to play it, did you?
Well, yeah. For the first half of the tour, we didn't play it because we just got so bored of it.
Mistake.
And then somebody pointed out, like, you're absolute dickheads. Like, it's so arrogant, so pretentious to not do it. Then we did it. It's quite, it's a quite a good song. I mean, I think that the inspiration, weirdly, if I try to think back, because it ended up being nothing like that. But I think we quite liked in the song Connection by Elastica, when it stops and it says the connection is made. And we liked that little harmony bit. And we were trying to write something with that, which is why it stops and it says my mum's gone to Iceland. Other than that, I don't know where it came from. I think it was a bit, I was listening, me and the bass player listening to XTC a lot of the time. And I think there's elements of kind of that stuff in it. It's got a really good bass line. It's got a horrible riff, that ding, 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 ding. It's awful. But there's the bass line underneath it is just phenomenal. And that's how Andy wrote that. That was great. But yeah, it just sort of hit because it was slightly novelty, I guess, and it kind of, people kind of thought it was fun, it was weird and fun and a bit kind of odd. And we did have Iceland contact us at the time.
Did you?
To see if we would like to get interested in sort of promotion with them. One of the ideas was us to appear in Iceland shops with Sharon Davies and the swimmer, Sharon Davies,
the Olympic swimmer,
the Olympic swimmer. I mean, it makes total sense, right? The reason being, she's a mum. See, she's a mum.
She's gone to Iceland, right?
So it makes absolutely sense,
Sure.
In a mad moment, we said no. They're also putting some of our singles on in some of the frozen pizzas. Genuinely,
that would have been good. That would have been great.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is the thing, chaps. Right. At the time, when you have kind of artistic morals and you are young and stupid, you're like, oh, no way. I don't want to.
I'm not selling out, man.
Exactly.
You're like in Wayne's World.
Honestly, give it another 10 years, I would have dressed up as Sharon Davis. I mean, I'd have done anything for money. And I'd go,
although she wouldn't have been happy with that. She's kind of anti-trans these days, isn't she, Sharon?
Yeah,
she wouldn't have been happy with you doing it.
I don't care. I'll have a swimming race with her. I'll wear pizza on my head. Anything. Give me some money. And but no, we didn't take it. We didn't take the money. Although a few years later, after that, Bennett was still going. It's the second album kind of period, and we were on tour with Record Belly. And Cheerios contacted our advertising agents, contacted our advertising agency contacted our manager, said, "Oh, right, Cheerios doing these adverts, and they want to do them in different styles. And one's going to be soul, and one's going to be kind of rock ballad, and one's going to be Britpop." Right.
Yeah.
And so obviously they can't afford anybody mega famous, but they've heard this singer from Bennett who's got a sort of Britpop voice. Will he come along and sing it? And so by this stage, I was already thinking, I don't care about artist integrity. You know, we were I could see the writing on the wall. We were on our way out. And I was like, yeah, fine. So we went to play in Manchester, and we got a train. I remember me and the tour manager got a train down to Paul's name. God rest his soul, he's dead now. We got a train down to Manchester. That's right, to London from Manchester. And we went into this advertising agency, and I went to this booth, right? And it was all kind of dimly lit and stuff. It's hilarious. Sitting there, I got the mic for stuff, and they give me the lyrics and the song, and it's just like so cheery corn, cheery oats, something like that. It's really kind of like, hey, cheery rice and whey, so cheery country, kind of thing, you know. And I'm seeing that, right? I found a cassette of it recently. I'm going to get it digitally put up on the Facebook page. But anyway,
yeah, come on,
do it.
So I'm singing it, and at one point, it's just me talk back. I didn't even seen Toast, with Toast in London, and they got that guy talk on talk back, and he sort of goes in. It's Professor Button. He goes to me, how's the atmosphere in there? Is the lighting and everything okay? Right? And I'm singing a song about Cheerios, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm right. And and all I remember saying, my tour manager kept just saying, just go into the second hour, because then they have to pay you for 2 hours. So I just dragged this thing out. It's about like 30 seconds. Can
we go again?
Here we go. To do it again. Got about 5 minutes to the second hour. I think that's it. I think that's better. And I remember I got paid for the 2 hours. And unfortunately, they never picked the advert up, which is unfortunate.
Oh man, I was going to say,
fortunate possibly,
because it would have been a lot of money. That's the good thing about it. But I did say at the time, I must have been having slightly worried about image. So I said to our tour manager, I don't want you to tell anybody this is what we're doing. I don't tell anybody this is what we're doing. And he's like, yeah, no, fine. So I mean it. He goes, oh, no, fine. So okay, fine. Anyway, so we get the train back from London up to Manchester University, which we're playing. We're opening up for Breakup. And I walk on stage because we hadn't been to soundcheck or anything, because obviously I'd missed it because I'd been in London. I mean, they knew I was going to. So the first time I see the stage, see the setup, when it's all set up and we're about to walk on and play. And I walk on and play. As we're walking on, I'm not joking, probably like 30 packets of Cheerios all dotted around the stage, on top of the amps, the drum rides, this sort of stuff. And he had told everybody.
It was inevitable, right?
Yeah, he told everybody's road crew. They went out and got all this stuff, and then I ended up singing it. That's the only time I've ever sung it live. I then sung it live for that crowd.
Oh wow,
brilliant!
Yeah.
So there
you go, Cheerios and Mums Don't Lie. I can't remember what the question was. Mums Don't Lie. Yeah, Mums Don't Lie. And that was a small hit single we had.
Yeah.
There we go. I think you just posted something about meeting Zig and Zag on the Big Breakfast.
Yeah, you did, on Facebook.
Did you? Was that a big moment?
Was it a big moment? I tell you what's weird. It's really odd. I heard somebody. I think it's a guy from Northside might be talking about it on your
Northern Uproar. Yeah. Northern Uproar.
Northside.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Leon,
If you ever watched it, I apologise. So don't get those two mixed up. Yeah.
Someone else you got to apologise to, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, Northside and North Uproar, whichever one of you want to give me a apology. Anyway, North something or other. And he was saying, and when I watched it, I thought, oh, fuck, I know exactly what he means. He was saying, you've got these blokes down on the floor, right? And then and then they're doing exactly. And what they said to us was, when we start asking the questions, don't look down at the puppeteers. Don't look down look at the. But the thing is, it's like, because you're so used to Zig and Zag, you watch it on TV. As soon as they started talking, you just don't even think of, you think it's Zig and Zag, I can see these guys before Mel's movies, but there's no way I would look at them, because it was just, wow, look, I'm talking to Zig and Zag. It was really, it was right. It was weird. There was a load of things you weren't allowed to say and do. There was lots of rules and stuff beforehand. Things you weren't allowed to mention and things like that. And so one of them was, you're not allowed to mention drugs, sex, drink, any sort of controversy about anybody, other famous people, and all that. And then Andy got this question saying, "What's the most rock and roll thing you've done?" And poor Barty's like, "Well, there's nothing you can mention, something. Not that he has done, but like he couldn't even make something up, So yeah, but it was all right.
Kind of limits you.
It was quite nice to meet them. What was
it looks fun.
What was weird was it was going out on the Monday after Reading Festival, but they filmed it on Thursday, I think, before, right?
Yeah.
So it was meant to be all the rest of the Big Breakfast was live. Those bits were pre-recorded, right? For that week because they were meant to be on this boat, and so we hadn't played Reading Festival, and one of the things he started saying to us, "Oh, you just played Reading Festival. How did that go?" So of course we were going, "Oh, it was really, really, really good."
Great.
And what happens if I don't know, some kid had come on stage and died or something like that? I mean,
sure,
or like I don't know, or kind of like a sort of disabled child had come on and set on fire, and I was then saying on the Monday, "Oh, it was really great," So it was That was the only bit that worried me a bit. As it happened, we played Reading Festival and there was no disabled child on fire, so it was all right.
Lucky.
Perfect.
Lucky.
All worked out in the end.
Yeah.
No
apologising had to be done there.
Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna run some adjectives by you. So this here comes from All Music Artists' Moods. These are adjectives to describe Bennett. Agree or disagree?
Okay.
Rye.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Playful.
Did you make these up?
No, they're from the All Music website. Of course I did.
Playful. I disagree.
Snide.
I agree.
Energetic.
I disagree.
Rousing.
I disagree.
Brash.
I agree.
Confident.
I disagree.
Freewheeling.
Freewheeling?
What's that mean?
Yeah, totally. I 100. In fact, if we ever write a third album, it's going to be called the Freewheeling Bennett. Sounds of Bennett.
Exuberant.
No.
Last one. Rambunctious.
I
didn't make these up.
No, rambunctious. I would say, as long as we can sort of say, fairly rambunctious.
Fairly, okay.
Not very.
Yeah.
No, not very. Not anti-rambunctious.
No,
just
sure.
Fairly.
No.
Slightly rambunctious. Yeah.
Slightly rambunctious. That's good. Yeah.
That's great. So you broke up in 1998. I mean, what happened? Was it the classic record company story?
Dropping us? No, it wasn't actually. It was so our drummer had left before we recorded the second album, and we did the Radio 1 Roadshow, and then before we went off on tour, our drummer said he didn't want to be in the band anymore. Kev, who's now in the band again, and so we borrowed a drummer called Martin and went out and did this tour, and very quickly, as lovely as Martin was, and in fact he was if you're watching this, Kev, I apologise in advance. He was
another one
far superior drummer to Kevin, and who was poor then, and now in his old age is truly terrible, so he came out on tour with us, and it was good, but we could see the writing on the wall. Our moment had been and gone. It was very quick, our moment, and it was like we hadn't capitalized it. We made a few mistakes, as in our second album was a bit pompous off first, but not pompous enough. So we kind of fell between a rock and a hard place. And then we had taken too long to record the second album because we were trying to get out of our deal with Roadrunner. And because Deceptive were quite interested at one point. Anyway, that fell through, and we ended up staying with Roadrunner. And that meant the album was put back because we hadn't started recording it. So it was just one thing after the other. I think it was on the day the album came out. We had a meeting with our manager in Acton, which was just around the corner from where the record label was. we'd only just sort of, from memory, the three of us had only really kind of just sort of vaguely talked about it, but we just sort of sat to him, just sort of came up in conversation, and I said, look, how long would we have to carry on doing this to sort of recoup? And he sort of told us, and we all said, no, not interested. We're going to split up instead. So we just, I remember, it was really depressing. We just did I think it was on the day the second album came out, we just split up.
Wow.
And that was it. Yeah, that was it. And then no more of that. Until
2016. So what prompted that?
Well, we did get together in 2016. And just did two shows. We got and did two shows, but I wasn't in a particularly good place at that point. I wasn't particularly happy in my life, this is when we did this with this is when we put the band together with this new guitarist and stuff, and so musically it worked out really well, but and then that was it. We just did those two shows and then forgot about it. And then all this time later, I think I got a phone call from somebody, because we've been on, occasionally we get phone calls, people say, oh, they're playing you on the radio, and it was like, oh, how lovely. But then somebody messaged, I got a couple of people messaging me, say, oh, Gary Crowley's put you on this one of his box sets. He did this like 90s indie kind of roundup thing, and you're on it. And then people decided to set quite a few warm comments about it. Anyway, I hadn't seen the others for a long time, and Neil never got to play the shows in 2016. So last year, I said, well, let's just do a show in Reading, because that was like our adopted hometown as well, and see if anybody's interested. And it was very flattering. It was very, very sweet. There was quite a lot of love out there, which I hadn't realised. I'd always kind of thought everybody just hated us, but there was a lot of love out there, and it was really, really lovely. And we sold out the gig. I said, let's. The gig was in October, and I said, let's set the promoter. Can we start releasing tickets in June? Because that way we may get just about enough sold by the time we do it in October. And we sold out in about a week, and so it just sat there on their kind of thing as a sellout gig. Only capacity of 4 people. No, that's a joke. But like, so it just sat there on their roster of this sold out gig, and it was great. It was such a good night, really, really, really good. And I think I might have got a bit carried away because it was such a good night. And in the week or so after that, that's when we got offered Shine On and Are You Listening Festival. And I was still very enthusiastic about it all. By the time Are You Listening came round, it felt a bit more like a chore, if I'm honest. Although we still had a nice time. So yeah, they're just it's not we haven't reformed in any great massive kind of like, oh, let's give this another go, lads.
You're not working on new material or anything.
Yeah. Absolutely not. I'm, although I again, when I got very excited, I was like, we could write some more new stuff, and I said I would, and I haven't. Because I still do music projects, other music projects. So I think we're just going to keep the Bennett thing as just a bit of fun. I say we got these 2 gigs this year. One we done, next one is Shine, and then we got these 3 gigs we're going to do with Midget next year. And again, it's just for the fun, because we toured with Midget and we love them, and we haven't seen them for many years. After that, I doubt we'll do anything else ever again, really. I think that would be it, probably.
Yeah.
But I've said that before. So.
Yeah. Never say never.
Never say never.
No, exactly.
Never know.
Yeah. Neil, do you want to ask the final question?
Yeah. So we ask every guest we have on the podcast, if you could have been in any other band around a similar sort of time, sort of early to mid 90s, who would it have been, and why?
Bloody hell. Have you had really good answers with this in the past?
Everyone says the Beastie Boys.
What, sorry?
Everyone says the Beastie Boys.
So.
Do they really? Yeah, God, I never thought about that. I'm thinking so small. It's so funny. See, this is why my brain works, right? I'm thinking like, oh well, I wouldn't have been allowed in a big band, so I'm thinking like Thurman.
Well, let's have
sure. It's Spitfire.
I wouldn't want to be in Thurman. No, I would like to have been in. I mean, I probably would like to have been in Blur. You know, I met.
Nice.
I had a very, very early friendship with Damon when they had She's So High, and he was a very, very nice man and very helpful to me in a few things I was doing at the time. So yeah, either them or bands around our time, or maybe somebody like Steps, something like that. You know, because I've got credentials for that. This I'll leave you. As this is the last question.
Yeah, well,
come on in.
You say, what band would I like to have been in? I can tell you a band I was in, and that band is Bros.
Oh, come
on. I was in Bros.
Please explain.
So they weren't called Bros at the time. It was me.
Oh, you're not even joking, are you?
No, I'm not joking, man. Me, Matt, and Luke, Craig, who then got on to jokingly be called Ken by somebody. His name was Craig, who I'm still Facebook friends with. And every birthday, send him a thing saying "Happy birthday from your past." And he always says, "Hope you're well." That's about as much as our friendship goes. The other two, I don't know anymore.
This could be the best story ever.
I was the guitar player. Now,
what were you called at the time?
Well, this might have been around the time that they were called Gloss, I think.
Gloss, right.
But I can't really remember. They had kind of long, curly, like mullety hair and 80s jackets. And
did they have the gross bottle tops at that point?
No. This is before that. No. And so I didn't really. I mean, there was no way I would have ever fitted in with. I mean, I Bros.
Oh, come on.
Well, I can't see it. You got to remember. I mean, look at me now. You got to remember. I mean, look, this is fairly frightening. Looking back, remember how I was back in the 90s. I wasn't Brett Anderson, so I wouldn't have fitted in with a sort of like an attractive band. But it was. So this is in the 80s. I played guitar with them, and we're in Craig's garage, which is where we used to rehearse. And I remember saying to them, "I've had it with you. This is all true. You're never going to get anywhere. I'm off." And guitar over the shoulder, I walked out of Craig's garage, past Craig's dad, who was washing the car, up the road, right, to get the bus home. Cut to maybe 8 months later, maybe a year later, I'm very successful. I'm working at a paper stand at Woking Station on the platform at the weekends.
There you go.
Getting up at 5 a.m, and I'm back. It's about midday. Back at my mum and dad's house, freezing cold, fingerless gloves because I've been out in the cold, but in the Woking platform morning. Put on the chart show, and there they are singing "When Will I Be Famous?" And I thought to myself,
so that could have been on that.
I thought to myself at the time, I think I might have made an error here. Yeah. So that was the band I said. So I don't know so much about what band I'd like to have been in. The band I could have been in was Bros, but I left to pursue a career selling papers on Woking Station.
Well, you were in Bros, basically.
You were.
Oh, yeah, I was in a early version of Bros. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
great.
Great. That's brilliant.
That's brilliant. Thank you. So, I mean, is Facebook page the best place for people to keep up with?
We would like more people to go to the Facebook page because the first.
There you go. Head on over there.
Yeah, well, personally, happens when people find the Facebook page is we normally get comments like, "Jesus Christ, I thought you lot were dead." So, like, it would be really nice for people to come over there and say hello because we also anything else we're up to we put there. But it's just nice. It's a nice little community of people who like underdog bands from the 90s.
Sounds great. All right, that's brilliant. I'm going to
thank you
stop
so
the
much.
recording. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Don't escape yet. One moment.
There you go. Jason Applin from Bennett. What a lovely guy. We don't like ranking them too much, do we? Because all of our guests have been lovely.
I'm not saying best. I'm just saying in terms of, objective loveliness.
I mean, I think Jason was one of the funniest, I think, on par with like Collapse Lung, maybe.
Yeah.
He definitely had some good stories. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Really appreciate him coming on. He said he's got no fucking interest in anything anymore. That's for young people. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I feel a bit like that sometimes. Yeah, he's just sort of he's settled into sort of normal life now, isn't he? Not really up to much on the music scene in general. He's just, is what it is.
But like he said, that's the way he likes it.
Yeah.
You're
he's quite
supposed to
happy.
say to me, you weren't in the interview. What did you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, go on. You got to
cares,
say
so.
Dave. It's just kind of occurred to me that you weren't in the interview. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a good one, wasn't it? But
that's what you say every time.
People have to listen because often it's like the first 10 minutes. It takes a while to get into it. In this one, basically the first 5 minutes was just Neil telling us where he used to live.
Oh God, I know.
But after we got past that, it was really good.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Jason really opened up.
Seriously, who gives a fuck?
Stories. Oh, Aldershot. Oh, yeah, I used to live along there. I used to live along there. Oh, Reading. Oh, yeah, I grew up there.
Well, he's got a similar path to mine. I did grow up near Reading, and I did live in Aldershot when I was at university. Maybe people didn't.
No, it's good, man. The listeners got to hear a bit about your roots. It's good. It's good. He didn't get your joke about Reading Festival being a small festival.
I know. He didn't.
He didn't.
No.
And he thought you were talking about the Are You Listening Festival. But I think you got away with it.
I think I did, yeah. I thought no one had got it. I thought you hadn't picked up on it either. So I
completely.
just sort of ignored it.
It's funny that their requirement for the record deal was that they get taken to Chessington.
Yeah. It's not even the best theme park, is it? Could have gone for Thorpe Park or something. If they had gone to, if they went to Cheston, it might have been around the same time that Jim from Collapsed Lung was running the Bubble Works.
There's an update for listeners. So in the interview, he talked about the band that walked past their dressing room and said, "Who the fuck are Bennett?" And he couldn't remember who it was. So Jason very kindly updated us on our Facebook page, and the answer was Strangelove.
Okay.
Who the fuck are they?
Then.
There you go. There you go.
It just sounds like he got in a lot of situations back in the day. It was quite amusing.
Yeah, it's very self-deprecating. And
I
recognise myself in a lot of his stories because quite a few of them were saying the wrong thing and then feeling really embarrassed about it and wondering if you should apologise and all that. I go through that constantly in my life.
Give us a recent example.
Well, yesterday I was in Wickes. I needed to buy something because our door frames come loose. And I didn't know what to buy. So I went to the guy who worked there and I said, because normally they're shit, right? Normally they don't know anything. And I've gone in there 10 times and asked and they've never helped. So I said to him, "Oh, you're probably not going to know this, but..." And he was so annoyed.
I mean,
but it was the wrong thing to say, you know. I judged him based on... But that's the sort of thing. I said the wrong thing. Yeah. Then I felt really... And I'm still, you know, it's still eating me up now. But he did help. Yeah. And I bought the right product.
You should go back and apologise.
Should I?
With the sombrero on.
With the sombrero? Why?
If I go and apologise...
Because that's what Jason did. Jason had a massive sombrero when he apologised.
Right.
But that's exactly it. You know, if I did go and apologise, he'd just think, "What a cunt."
Yeah.
Bring him like a Kit Kat or something.
Yeah. That's a better idea. Just a gift. No words, just a gift.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I do like all the little scrapes he seemed to get himself into. We had to go and apologise for afterwards.
I like to hear a mention of Supermodel on the podcast. That was good to hear.
Yeah, lived with him, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Because he said that they used to come home from wherever they'd been in the day, and obviously whack the old answer machine on because that's 90s for you. And there was either one or the other or both. We're getting like messages from record labels. It's really exciting time. That must be exciting. I think, if you're in a young band to come home to that sort of thing and to live with another band that's going through the same sort of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Be good.
Yeah. They had a song called Penis, Size and Cars. That was like their hit. Do you think there's a connection?
Well, literally.
Yeah. As you know, overcompensation for having a small dick, basically. That's the implication.
Well, I've got a VW Passat. He's got a massive van.
I've got a massive.
I can't drive.
So basically yours is enormous.
I don't need to flex at all. Yeah, I'm so comfortable. Not even having a driving license.
All right. Fucking hell.
Well, I'm only saying it because it's not true.
In. I don't know how you'd do the research on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty easy. Just stop people and get them to pull down there.
You'd have to rip them down.
I mean, it should be done. Someone should do that research.
Because when you're being measured, it's got to be a complete surprise. Because if I was told it's going to happen, you know,
and you're going to get ready, yeah.
It's going to disappear altogether.
Yeah, I think it would be impossible to pass the ethics committee on that. I do research on people. Even to ask questions, you have to go through so many like ethics boards and ethics committees just to say you want to interview someone. Yeah.
So this is not this information. It's not find outable, is it? I guess you could do it on corpses.
Yeah, but again, then there's ethics involved, man.
So after a car crash,
it's even worse.
You measure. Don't know how we got here.
Then you got the car and the cock at the same time.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, that's true.
It's easily done.
It's easily done. All right.
They cordon that bit off anyway, so it's quite private. Have a quick look, measure.
Yeah, you got your ethics sorted.
Yeah, that's cracked it. Get on the case, researchers.
There seemed to be especially in their band, with him and record labels, there's a real sort of cat and mouse with the record labels, which I liked, is to lie about the guest list and stuff. Do you think that went on a lot?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he was unusually canny.
It's good. A good idea. Yeah, I think he really thought about that.
Yeah, it's an old trick like David Bowie, like before he was famous, he kind of went over to America and hired limousine and all this kind of stuff and security guards, even though he wasn't famous, to kind of create the impression that he was someone. Do you know what I mean? And it totally worked. And it was like, who's this guy?
Imagine that working in America.
Well, it did.
It's like it's like when I say that we're one of the top podcasts in the country. You know.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah, sure. It plants the idea in the head. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. We are, but or are we? I like that you paid someone like a tenner on the door to hype up the people that were coming and stuff, but that they weren't actually coming. I think we need to talk about Main Street for a bit. A couple of things.
Well, how can you link Main Street to it?
I'll tell you how.
No link whatsoever.
We don't.
There is. Hear me out. He spoke fondly of a place called Mole's Club in Bath, which you probably know, Luke, because it's near Bristol. You must have gone there a few times. Main Street's first out-of-town gig was at Mole's Club. It's a great venue, but he said that it's no longer. I didn't know that, and that's really sad. It was a great venue. Like everyone played there, like Oasis, Radiohead. It was one of those venues.
Main Street.
Everyone played
Main Street.
Main Street. But it was a great venue. I really did like it there. I'm not just saying it. It was one of the better venues, and it's a real shame if that has gone because it was iconic.
He mentioned the Louisiana. When I listened back to the interview, I think I might have seen them at that gig at the Louisiana. I've just got like a vague memory, but I might have invented it after hearing him talk about the Louisiana. But I think I did. I think I did.
You were there at that time.
If a band was coming through, I genuinely went to see them. So I think I might have seen them at the Louisiana.
Too blotto to remember.
Oi. Too fucking bright. Too many arranger booms before heading out. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and also going back to Main Street. Also,
fucking hell! What? No.
Mine and Jason's lives are very intertwined. It seems so. Their comeback gig, in Reading was at Face Bar, again a venue that Main Street played.
You played in a venue that also began with an F.
We played the same
amazing
venue.
coincidence.
It's true that Reading and Bath, both those venues we played. Definitely not to as many people as Bennett. But
if we finish talking about Main Street now?
Trying to get some more Spotify streams.
All right. Well, what song shall I put on this time?
Put on Change.
Oh
yeah, okay. Appropriate. Oh,
with the election coming, I like it.
There you go. But their first tour was with Mega City 4, and I was going to say, Dave, what do you think about that?
I love
Mega City 4, don't you?
Yeah, love them.
But more confirmation that they're great blokes. Everyone says it, right? Everyone.
Well, apart from Dave, yeah. Everyone likes Mega City 4.
He likes them. He just doesn't like the music. But everyone says they're great. They're great people. So more confirmation.
So I was just going to bring in the Steve Lamacq feud, which was quite interesting, I thought, because I don't want to gaslight Jason, but it did seem to be completely in his mind, right?
I think a lot of the stuff
he invented this whole feud.
Yeah, I think he knows a lot of the stuff that he built up. It wasn't actually happening.
But again, it's that kind of thing I can definitely recognise in my own personality. Building things up that don't really exist.
I think the fact that their single got played the week that Lamacq wasn't there on his show played into the narrative.
Yeah, you can see why he could have, thought there was a feud.
And then John Peele bloody loved him, didn't he?
Yeah.
He loved it.
When was John Peele at his height, would you say?
Depends, right? Depends what age you are. Whatever age you are, he's at his height, right? So if you're like in your 60s, he was at his height with punk, right? He was the only person. He was the first person to play punk on the radio, right? He was the only person playing God Save the Queen when it was banned. If you're into like 80s music, then you like the Wedding Present at their height, then you'll say like 1986 was his height. Whatever you're into, right? If you're into rave or hardcore gabba, you're going to say like 91. It's whatever, right? Whatever you're into, he was at its peak.
Everyone across generations love him, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
My mum was a big fan of him. Probably your mums as well.
I got a dedication on his show just a couple of months before he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who to? To you or from you?
Well, just like a hello, basically, not like a hello. Because I was in Japan and I just got the internet for the first time. Like this is after like living in Japan for a couple of years, whatever. So I can listen to like John Peele again, right? So I was like super excited. So I sent a message saying that basically, and it's like this goes out to Luke Lawrence in Tokyo. And, I was so excited. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant!
I mean, if he'd have been around for a bit longer, then he would have picked up Main Street, I guess. But we were just a little bit too late.
He was around plenty long enough for that.
Yeah.
Did he pick them up? Did he know?
No. He died at the bottom of Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
I blame Radio 1.
Oh.
Well, he was an older guy, right? He was diabetic. He had like, health, requirements, and they kind of pushed his show like later and later, and they didn't value him in any way.
You're accusing Radio 1 for killing John Peele?
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's exclusive. Never heard that one before, but okay.
There you go.
He was an oracle of music back in the day, and to get championed by John Peele. Well, he said that Bennett probably wouldn't have had the success they had without that happening. So,
I just should say, because I pull up everyone else for it, but John Peele did have a few kind of accusations of
he did,
dodgy stuff with underage girls. It's someone's Star that I couldn't remember the name. That's what I was looking for. It's something Star. Although he's pretty much my number one hero when it comes to music, you shouldn't forget about that as well. Basically,
no,
it's not.
Yeah,
it was not
all right. So he's your number one hero. You can
in terms of
forgive
music.
him, but I
don't forgive him. No, that's why I'm saying
we can't have the Blue Tones going on.
Although, the reports are that she was willing and able, etc. But the fact was she was definitely underage, and that's completely out of order. So I'm not defending it. Yeah. Although he was also raped himself, which is pretty fucked up. But there you go.
Fuck, I didn't
It's
know
no
that.
excuse, is it?
Jesus.
It's not an excuse in any way whatsoever, and I didn't mean to connect the two, but yeah.
I mean, this episode's gone downhill from Jason's like jovial chat to this, but you know, it goes on all sorts of tangents. That's fine. We've spoken about this a few times, but they did that thing when we spoke about their second album anyway, didn't we? And how it got all a bit pretentious, even by their admission. And they did that thing where they didn't play their biggest hit when they were playing live. And then someone just said, "Why are you doing that, you dicks?" Do you know what I mean? And then they thought, "Oh yeah, why are we doing that?" Loads of bands must do that though.
Yeah, well, it's like with the Seahorses interview, right? And he's like, he refused to play Seahorses songs. The Scottish bloke said, "You better fucking play it."
I think the good ones learn the lesson, right, and realise.
Yeah, I think Liam Gallagher's learnt that, hasn't he? You know that. You know, people do like his solo stuff, but you have to throw some Oasis in there. You just got to. That's what people come for.
Well, I sympathise with Liam on that, because if you go and see Liam Gallagher, you expect him to play his solo stuff. I think it's a bonus if he throws in it. Yeah, I mean, I went to see him and he did throw in a few, but
if you went to a Liam Gallagher gig and he didn't play any Oasis,
I would have been fine with that.
I think.
No, I would have been fine with it.
Really?
But I wasn't. I welcomed that he did it.
I would have been furious. I'd have thrown my plastic pint glass at the wall in anger.
That'll tell him. That'll teach him. He wouldn't do that again. You know, Nirvana famously didn't play "Smells Like Teen Spirit" a lot.
Is that true?
Yeah, that'd be annoying, wouldn't it?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
Oh, but they got so many other amazing songs.
They do,
but it's just
you want to hear that in a gig environment, don't you?
The only consequence of doing that is just you annoy people. That's it. There's no other outcome, is there?
Well, and they might throw their plastic pint glass against the wall. That's another consequence.
But there's no positive from doing that, is there? Yeah, I don't know. I just think people should give. I think bands should always give fans what they want, really.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I liked his Cheerios story.
I'm trying to picture it. It would have been brilliant.
I can totally picture it. But it made me think about, like, have you ever had American cereal?
No.
That's mental shit, man. It's mental.
Why? What's different?
Is it just a bag of sugar?
Yeah. It's just like a bag of sweets.
Is it like 8 times the size of the cereal packets here?
It's not the size. It's just like sweets. So I was like reading this article and they was talking about it, and I couldn't understand the whole point of the article because they were talking about cereal. And in the end, I just realized they were just talking about like American cereal and how unhealthy it was, you know. Because in my mind, cereal's a healthy thing, right? But if you say cereal to Americans, they might as well just say like sweets, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's mad.
But yeah, I like the Cheerios story as well. I like the way that they sort of had someone sort of talking to him on the talkback, saying
talkback. Is that who knows that technical term? Talkback.
I've been in recording studios, haven't I?
Yeah,
been in recording studios with Main Street.
But his point that he had to extend it to the second hour. That reminded me of when I used to do lineups with Luke in Brighton.
Oh, I remember. I didn't know you did them. I know Luke did. I remember that. I remember we used to watch them. They're hilarious.
The thing is, he always got through to the second hour because he looked like a criminal. He was like shaved head, muscly dude, right? And I just looked like a skinny, effete indie boy. I lasted like 10 minutes. They're just like, yeah, no, I don't need you. No, you can go home, mate. No, you can go, mate.
Did you still get paid?
I got paid a $5. Yeah, for an hour.
But they don't know he didn't know the risk he was taking. I mean, did you hear about the guy in Manchester recently? He only just got out of prison after 17 years.
Well, because he risked
being one of those lineups,
being wrongly identified.
Yeah,
yeah. I think if they asked you to go, you can't get picked out, sort of thing.
No,
if they do,
they know who it is. Basically, they just want the witness to put the right answer. Basically, yeah. Never got picked, and they never even got to the second round. It's
unlucky.
Yeah, That's what you get for being effeminate indie boy. That's what happens.
I like the idea. They got asked by Iceland if they could put their single in frozen pizzas. I'm not sure how
did
that
that
would
happen?
work.
Did it actually
No.
happen?
No, they refused all of it, which they regret now. Well, he regrets now.
That'd be good.
We just put the whole pizza on the record player, and then you can eat it afterwards.
Oh, you put grooves in the pizza?
Yeah, the grooves were in the actual pizza.
Well, you say that. There was a band a couple of years ago. They made a frozen record. So you get the mold. You get the mold, and you have to put water in it and then freeze it.
That's annoying, isn't it? Why the fuck would you want that?
Just fun, isn't it?
No, it's annoying. How is that? Why would you want that?
Destroy your record player.
That'd be all right. It's just a groove, isn't it?
No part of that is enjoyable for the listener.
Well, it would melt on the player, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Then you freeze it again. You refreeze it.
Yeah, but the water would just all drip into the player.
What would you do if all your records were frozen?
Well, not all of them. It'd be fun for a little bit of novelty. Why are you so down on it, man? It's creative.
It reminds me, I think we've spoken about this before, it reminds me of the, what's that, spiritualized packaging.
Oh, yeah.
Tablets.
I had the CD of that.
Great packaging, but yeah, it's just fucking annoying afterwards because your CD wouldn't fit in any of the, you couldn't put it anywhere because it had this stupid packaging.
No. You just take it out of the blister pack. It's just a normal CD. No, but what they did do, which was annoying, they released a version of 12 mini CDs, 12 3-inch CDs. And each CD was a song from the album, Ladies and Gentlemen, Floating in Space. That would be annoying. And that's a blister pack, but with 12 mini CDs on it.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. It's too much, but it's fun. Yeah. It's cool.
It's the after bit, like once you've popped it open and stuff, it's just annoying. You're left with this like cardboard piece of shit that you can't put anywhere.
No, it's not. It's just like a normal CD, like a cardboard pack, and then it's just the blister pack. You can't reclose it.
But you're not going to throw the cardboard bit away, are you? That's what they know. You're
why
not,
would you? It's just like a CD case. Some CD cases are made of cardboard, aren't they? They're not all plastic, right?
Having it.
It's just the same.
That's annoying in itself.
No, it's. Why are you guys against creativity?
Go and freeze all your fucking records and then come back to us with that shit.
Why don't you go and fuck yourself?
Do you remember a band called Ultrasound?
Yeah, brilliant.
Loved Ultrasound.
They were good. Yeah, I loved it. But their album, they put it in a fucking cardboard case, and it never fit on the shelf.
See, that's what I mean. Don't fit.
That. Annoying.
I sat in the pub next to him.
Yeah, I'm with Dave on this.
Tiny ones.
Tiny, whoever his name is. I didn't realise Dave was a fan. I've been trying to get them on actually, so that we hopefully we can. Get
that'd be great.
They just scraped. They were just in the 90s, weren't they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, again, a lot of these bands got offered all these gimmicky things, and they to be fair, most of them stuck to their artistic morals and turned them down.
Yeah.
They all regret it now. What I'm getting from a lot of these interviews we've done with these bands is a lot of the bands had very sort of fleeting success, but they're okay with it. Like, you know, they had their sort of 5 minutes. Great. Now I've got this normal life, but that's all right. You know, did that. That's done.
It's striking how many of the people that've been on have been happy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Very happy, you know.
Yeah, there's no regrets there. They don't like think, I wish we'd have done this and we were massive now. And it's just like, no, that was cool. But now life's cool as well. And that's all right.
I wonder if we'd have started this podcast 15 years ago, whether it would have been different, right? There's so much distance between it that they've had a chance to. They've kind of gone through the cycle, right?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that is quite striking how it keeps coming up. Like James last week, I know they're still relatively successful EMF, but yeah, he's quite happy with what he's doing now, you know, his family life.
It's general, isn't it? You get more comfortable with yourself as you get older.
I think that does come with age, yeah. There is that. Don't know if I would be like that. I think I'd always be quite bitter about it.
Oh, you would, but you totally would.
Well, yeah, I think I would.
You are, yeah.
No, but we didn't really have a level of success. We did
That's what
did
you're
all
bitter
right
about, isn't it?
locally and stuff. No, but
No,
think if
he's
you
right. If he'd have been more successful, he'd have been even more insufferable.
Yeah, imagine if I always say I'd rather not be famous at all than have a little bit of fame and then get it taken away. I think that would be unbearable.
I wouldn't care, but I know you would, Neil. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear all these people that they're fine with it. They had their bit of fame and that was enough. Right, so we've avoided it so far. But Dave, you've been itching to talk about this, so let's talk about it.
Oh, it's just a great revelation, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Probably the best. You're right. The best one of the series so far.
And it is just sort of, if he threw it in, we'd nearly gone. We'd nearly finished it. We were gone.
Talking about the fact that he was in Bros.
Yeah.
I still don't know what's winding us up.
Before that, just a diversion, did you see George Galloway and Piers Morgan the other day?
No.
He had a revelation there, because suddenly it turned out he had been stalked by the baby reindeer stalker. It just came out in this interview. It's just completely out of the blue. Yeah.
Who?
Years ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a bit like this in our interview, out of the blue.
Yeah.
Jason was in Bros, one of the founding members.
I mean, I did Wikipedia it. Oh, not that they're much good anyway, but it's no mention of it. But this was really early doors, wasn't it? Before.
Imagine that, though.
Yeah, I know, it's funny.
Imagine you, Neil, storming out of the main
Neil
street.
said the same thing. Imagine if Neil had almost been in Bros.
He goes back to Seaford, and then they're on top of the pops.
Yeah, even he said when they're on top, it's like, I think I've made a bit of a mistake here.
Yeah.
I
always thought they should have been 4 and not 3.
But I imagine the dynamics, because those two, the brothers, that like when you watch that documentary, they're they're so different to Jason. He'd have been like, "What were you talking?" It would have been hilarious to watch.
Yeah,
them in a band
would have
together.
been good. They were the biggest band. Well, I guess not in the world, in the UK. When they
in the world,
I think
the world.
It's an argument for that
for a little while.
The first record I bought was Push.
Is it
right?
Vinyl record, yeah.
Kept that quiet.
Oh man. So Push had When Will I Be Famous, Drop the Boy, Cat Amongst the Pigeons, I Owe You Nothing. I mean, all the big ones, right?
It was a good album.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Give you that. I can't see them any different to how they are on that documentary anymore. That always sort of amazes me, that documentary still. But so Jason was in Bros.
Yeah. It's a great story.
Is that it?
That's it. Okay. Although, again, one addendum from Jason on the Facebook page. So when we put the BIS interview out, he claims he wants to change his answer to the final question. That instead of Fleur, he would have liked to have been in BIS.
He can't.
That's all right. No, he can.
Of course he can.
I vote he can.
Of course he can.
Oh, it's a democracy, so it's 2-1. So he can.
Yeah.
All right. That brings that one to a close. So that's it for this one. Really hope you've enjoyed it. We did. Thanks so much to Jason coming on. Had a lot of fun. If you have enjoyed it, then please do give it a thumbs up if you're watching. Leave a comment below. Let us know your Bennett memories, favourite tracks, live gigs, all that sort of stuff. Start a conversation below and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening, then please do rate and review it, because it really does help other people find the podcast, which we are clearly finding from our record viewers this month. Although Dave just thinks it's, people by mistake. But
if you haven't done so already, dive into the back catalogue. There's loads of stuff in there, loads of interviews, people that we talked about. BIS we just mentioned, that's in there. And a whole load of people, EMF, etc. So dive in and find something you like.
Back to you, mixtape.
It's nearly done. I probably had a few more from our conversation today. Bit of Main
it should
Street.
Be a good one with a bit Main Street. There's some metal on there, isn't there, and all that.
A bit 3 Inches of Blood I'll put on.
Starship.
Might put Starship on it.
Starship.
I love Starship.
Bros, got some Bros on.
Bros.
Yeah. It'd be a good.
It's going to be good.
Look forward to that mixtape. Yeah. All right. But that's it for this one. Tune in next week. But for now, Dave.
See you in a minute.